My name is Julie Walsh, and I'm an independent curator of digital art. I actually ran an art gallery for 18 years and specialized in contemporary Asian art, and was always really fascinated in new media and digital art. My first interaction with crypto was actually started in last winter. I was asked to be the second curator for a platform called Feral File with Casey Rias. And he actually made this foundation, and it was a very renegade project because the artists at this point, nobody was thinking along these lines. We're supposed to collaboratively with the curator figure out what their edition size was going to be, for example, and how much they were going to charge as a group. And that was really appealing to me, this notion of that the artist had so much control and say over their artwork and how it was going to be seen. And it was great because so many of these artists, for example, Sophie Kahn and Oria Harvey and Nancy Baker Cahill, all who are part of the Tezos platform, it was their first NFT experience. And it was the first time that we were all, really engaged in these heart-to-heart conversations about NFTs themselves. Could we think of NFTs as a medium? Now everybody's talking about blockchain technology as a medium, but at that point, we were actually interested in could the artwork reflect this whole concept of NFTs, and could it be built around the idea of NFTs? And that's what made this show different. I think it really had a dramatic effect actually on the trajectory of all of these artists as well as my own practice. We had an incredible response in terms of sales for the work. It meant a lot to the artists to have that type of visibility. And I think for myself, it also really empowered me to think of, when I'm working with artists, to think of this kind of community approach. And then in terms of the actual artwork, I think it was also an eye-opener because all the artists had to soul search in terms of how were their artistic practices going to be expressed in this new way. So I feel like in a lot of ways, it was actually historic for them personally in terms of their timelines, and for myself as well. I'm actually the art advisor and curator for a French company called Art Consortium, and we're helping museums and cultural institutions and foundations and galleries and artists to tokenize their artwork, but also, of course, to be able to sell it. Our idea is that anybody can purchase art, and so when you see a large-scale video mapping projection, for example, and you have 3,000 people like in Miami Basel with Rafiq's wonderful event, all of those people, the way we're queued up to like something on social media, we could purchase one of these NFTs. And that's an amazing concept to me. It's really challenging the status quo of who can collect, who gets to be a collector. And also we're providing individual metaverses so that people, no matter how much you spend, if you spend $1 or $5 on an NFT, you still get a metaverse and you still get to display your artwork. My new show that's coming up is going to be seen at the Meet Digital Culture Center, and it's going to be super cool because it's going to be in a physical VR room dedicated to VR, but it's also when people put on their headsets, they're going to be able to purchase the art using NFT. So anybody that goes into that museum will be able to be a collector of the artwork that they respond to. And there's going to be multiple links, and it's going to be on 2 different platforms at the same time, and also physically. So I think this sort of combination of physical exhibition with virtual exhibition is going to be the new trends in the art world. I think it really comes back down to the concept of how virtual and immersive technologies can fuse with physical exhibitions to create new communities and to diversify who gets to see what art and who gets to be a collector and an owner. As we go forward, museums are going to realize that this is the best way for them to do community building, is to have virtual presentations. And that way somebody doesn't have to worry about I don't have bus fare to go and take a bus down to this museum to go see this exhibition, they can still access it. And I think the possibilities of social web-based VR are also very amazing for digital art viewing. And for my show, I'm actually combining that with the sale of the FNFTs. So people will get to be in Milan, but also all around the world at the opening with the artists, looking and talking about art, and then being able to own it when they respond to something that they really love.